What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Crimson Desert. And look, I have a habit of doing this. Sometimes I don't necessarily get things right, but I almost predict when something's about to happen. I'll make a story or a video on a game, and then like a day or two later, something will directly, happen to that game that I just talked about. And sometimes it's a bad thing. And I think in this situation, it's probably more bad than good, depending on, I guess, how you view delays. So Crimson Desert has been delayed to Q1 2026. I don't actually think you could have timed this any maybe worse or better, depending on how you look at it, from yesterday's video that I did. So, I want to go over the reasoning because I do kind of appreciate the way it was said. Kind of gives us like a closer look, and even when they talk about when they will give a release date, even that's kind of an interesting statement. So they say the launch of Crimson Desert, our first large-scale AAA console game, has been unavoidably delayed by 1 quarter from the previously announced schedule. This is due to longer than expected timelines arising from schedule coordination and collaborations with multiple partners for offline distribution, voiceovers, console certification, and other launch preparations. We sincerely apologize for not being able to meet the originally promised 4th quarter launch schedule. Please kindly understand that this is a strategic decision aimed at ensuring success on a meaningful scale. Then they say the release date's internally confirmed for Q1 2026. However, given the change in launch timing, we will announce a date at a more appropriate time based on business considerations rather than making an announcement at Gamescom next week. So that last part's pretty important, and we can start there and kind of work our way, backwards. That I like hearing, just so it doesn't kind of give us unrealistic expectations. And to be honest, it probably would be unrealistic to think, okay, they delayed it today, and then Gamescom is literally 1 week today. So within a week, they're going to give us the date. That probably is not very likely, And so, actually, it's not likely at all because it's not going to happen. But if they didn't say it, that kind of leaves it up in the air, even though, it doesn't seem like it's something that they would do. So look, Q1 is January through March. We literally talked about it yesterday. I think I said if it's not coming out that first week of December, it's a late January game at the earliest. Now, I would like to push that, okay? I would like to say this is probably late February, early March. I'm going to assume, look, it's a lot of lingo, a lot of words that we hear businesses in the gaming industry say. But really, what's maybe interesting, maybe it's a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Sometimes games will get delayed, in that last stretch because of the optimization, right? And that certainly can be part of this. Like I would hope actually it is part of it, where it's like, hey, well, every second we get, every extra day we get is a day we can focus on making the game run better, look better, feel better, all those things. I'm sure that has to do with it. It's interesting that the reasoning that they give, I'm not saying like they're making it up. It's just interesting. It's more of like the other business things, like getting it ready, like again, like the certificates to launch it on the PS Store, and those things do take time. Those are things that are legitimate things. I think this is probably where you get into like, would this happen if this wasn't their first big AAA console game, right? Because I do think the voiceover and all the certification, all of that fancy talk, some of the fancy talk that they said, I think a lot of that really stems from this is a big game. They're not used to it. They're not experienced, and flat out, they might not even be good with it, right? So it's like they're trying to learn on the fly, and these are things that probably don't delay the average game, but it does delay this game. And you can look at that. Look, I'm not here to police you around, right? You can look at it negative. I think every time this game gets delayed, you'll have more people saying like it's fake and like you're getting your hopes up for nothing. Like I think that's natural. I don't think that's unfair. A game that's eternally delayed, Lost Soul aside, probably went through that for like almost a decade, right? Like I get it. I understand that. I still have hope in this game, and I want to just put it towards inexperience. I want to say, hey, I think this game can still be good. I imagine, like I said, maybe more focusing on the positives. Like if they can focus on that optimization while also making sure all this other stuff, like the voiceover is good and all this stuff. Like, yeah, that stuff's very important. It's probably more important than optimization because the game can't come out, without some of this stuff that, they listed. So, again, it's what I said yesterday. Like, take your time at the end of the day. It is disappointing. Like, the delays are disappointing. Like, I want to play games. I'm a person who loves video games more than the average Joe. I want to play them. So I do get disappointed when a game is pushed, but, I want to believe it's for the best for that that game. And as I said yesterday, like, the year is packed. And if it was going to come out in December, I would have made time for it. But, it's not, and that's okay. And I have a lot of games to play, and I imagine this is a late February, early March type game. And then in terms of release date, that'll be more actually, they kind of say this is going to be something I think they just say in their press. So they say it for this quarter 2. I would look for that quarter 3, which actually we're approaching the end of, but they seem to be late, or maybe their quarters are different than what I think of the quarters. So we'll see like when they actually do it, but maybe like I'm just trying to think, like maybe October, November, they do another one of these kind of conferences, right? And they're saying to investors and all that stuff. I would look for that because I don't think it's Gamescom. I don't think it would be like a state of play. I don't think they would wait till the Game Awards. I feel like sometime in October or November, through just like a press release, they'll say, hey, the date's set. Maybe they'll have a trailer to kind of mark the occasion. But you know what? Don't forget, and so look on the bright side just to end the video, there still is that demo. Like, they're still participating. Gamescom, PAX West, all the stuff we talked about yesterday, they're still doing it. It's just that we're not going to get a date now. So we should still get new info for the game, by the way. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.